Good morning, everybody. Welcome to biology. Um, Welcome to our 2020-2021 school year. Welcome to Westlawn High School. My name is Mr. Chawla, and I will be your biology teacher for this year. If you ever need to get a hold of me, right there is my email. And so that's one way we can stay in contact with each other. Forget what I look like, there's my picture. Today I want to start off with questions that we can think about. First question is, what is the purpose of education? Basically, why do we learn things? So, in a moment, I would like you to just think about different reasons why we go to school, different reasons why we learn things. So at this point, if you would pause the video just for a second, you can think about what kind of reasons there are for going to school. Now, if you've thought about those reasons, a couple of reasons is to just gain some knowledge, to improve the information that you have about the world. But at the same time, we're trying to put those pieces of knowledge together in some way that makes our thinking better, and it makes our decision making process better. So actually, when you are more educated, you're able to make better decisions. And education can mean a lot of things to a lot of different people. It could be the fact that you are educated in science. It could be the fact that you're educated about certain job-related skills. Sometimes, we all have our own expertise as to how we are able to, go through this world. Some people are musicians, professional musicians. Some people are carpenters, professional carpenters, or doctors, or mechanics, whatever it is. They have a skill. They are very educated in what they do. But the more education you have about the world, the better you are at making decisions. Which brings us to number 2, why we study biology. What is the purpose of this? And, well, we'll get to that in a little bit. But there are reasons why we study specific subjects to help us know about certain things. But before we get to that, what we're going to do is we're going to go through some expectations for the class. So we have ROAR, which is Westland's motto. R, be respectful. We should respect all the people, organisms, and materials inside and outside of the classroom. Be organized. It's really important to be organized when you're going to school, when you are keeping a house, when you are going to a job, because when you have your materials present, when you're ready and you're mentally focused, you will have more success. You got to be accountable. You got to be able to evaluate and justify your actions inside and outside of the class. So when you do something, you should be able to think about why you did it and justify having a reason why you did it. And that could be, I did my homework because of this. I didn't do my homework because of this. I did these actions because of this. You got to be accountable. And lastly, we have being responsible, which is similar, but it's being able to take action outside to achieve the goals inside and outside class. Whatever goals you're wanting to accomplish, then you be responsible for that and you go take action on that. Okay, so there we go. So biology. What is biology? Well, biology is the study of life. And so in this class, we're going to be doing a lot of having a lot of discussions about what life is, what makes it work, how it changes, what it's made of. There's a lot of different parts to life. And so we're going to be studying those parts. Now, there's 2 different definitions you can find for life. You could say, what is the scientific definition of life? And there's reasons when if I say something is alive, I knock on this table's not alive. But we're alive. So scientifically, what is the definition as to why this table is not alive, but why are we alive? And it comes down to what are called characteristics of life. And so we're going to be studying the characteristics of life. But there's a philosophical definition of life. You could define it philosophically, what life is to each person. And that brings out an attitude that's held by each person as some kind of guiding principle as to what life is. To some, life is music. To some, life is athletics. To some, life is gaming. There's many different philosophies of life. To some, life is family. To some, and I think it changes over the course of your life. So we're going to start by talking about the scientific characteristics of life. There are certain things that make organisms fall into the classification of life. The first is cells. They are all made up of cells. And with each one of these, we're going to get more in depth as we go through the year. And within each cell, there's some sort of level of organization. Even cells are organized to function more efficiently. We're going to talk about metabolism. Metabolism is kind of a big word. Maybe it's a new word. The real idea is just to use energy. Being able to respond to stimuli. A stimulus is something that affects something else. Something is, for example, a mosquito lands on me and is trying to bite my arm to take my blood, and I swat at it. I've responded to that stimulus. It could be light. Light. I see a bright light. I cover up my eyes, or my eyes constrict or dilate based upon the amount of light. That is a response to stimulus or stimuli. All life grows and develops. You're not the same size as you were 5 years ago. You're not the same. You don't have the same look as you did 5 years ago. And so if you look at trees, or if you look at, any other plants, any animals, from the time that they are have been born, have hatched, have developed from the seed, they have all grown and developed in that amount of time. 6 is to maintain homeostasis. And homeostasis is a balance. We're all trying to maintain a balance, balanced temperatures. We all want to be our natural body temperature, 98.6. And so that is what our body tries to maintain, tries to balance. And if we get sick, then our body changes to kind of get it back to balance. So there's a homeostasis. When you eat, you taking food, taking sugars, taking things in your body's trying to balance those out. So balance your sugar levels. So we try to maintain homeostasis. 7, life evolves. And as we get to this topic, we're going to find out that organisms in nature are just born, some with better skills than others. Some are better suited than others. And generally, in the populations of those organisms, the ones that are best suited for that environment are going to be able to survive better. And therefore, the population changes over a period of time. The ones that are more successful survive and reproduce and produce more of those offspring. And so we're going to get into but that's as a species, how species change over time. And lastly, going along with that, we're going to talk about reproduction and heredity. And they kind of go together, and in terms of how organisms, life reproduces, passes on those genes, allowing the species to continue and to change over a period of time. So these are the characteristics of life, and this will be our focus throughout the year. We'll get into bits of all of these. And I'm excited to talk about this. I love biology. I think it's an amazing subject, and I'm looking forward to working with you this school year. And so what I would ask of you in this video is that you familiarize yourself with the material that's in here. If you're taking notes, we'll get into that, because you're going to have to study. You're going to have to be able to answer things on quizzes or write write short paragraphs, essays. You're going to have to get into being able to understand biology. So if I were you from this video, I would understand what we were trying to get across today. Begin to learn the characteristics of life, begin to learn what biology is. And we're going to have another day where we can discuss this more. We'll do this tomorrow, but also get into what do you think life is to you? So I hope this video has helped you, and I will be talking to you in the next video about more specifics about what life is and the scientific and philosophical views of life.